Hi and welcome back. We are now going to go over lesson 1.2, test the DHCP scope. I'm leaving all the windows open from the previous lab. You will notice that in this one, it's going to ask you to log into the Windows 2K8R2 internal 2 machine. Now, if you have done so already, just remember that you would have to click over to the correct tab for the W2K8R2 internal 2 to open this up. Step 2. Currently, the IP address on the machine is set statically. A quick look at the output of the command ipconfig/all from the command line confirms this. Now, why don't we go ahead and take a look for ourselves. Down here, we're going to hit Start, and we're going to select Command Prompt, and we're going to type in the ipconfig/all and hit Enter. We're going to look for the DHCP enabled. Right here under Ethernet adapter local area connection, and you're going to notice that yes, it says no, exactly in the screenshot that they provided us. Now in step 3 it says change the settings for this machine to be able to obtain an IP address automatically. Open the Network and Sharing Center by right-clicking the network icon in the system tray and clicking Open Network and Sharing Center. Now if you notice on my screen here, we don't have that option. But there is another way to get to it. So if we go here to the Start, you'll see an option for Control Panel. Select that. Now in this view, it doesn't give me all my options. So I like to switch this to small icons. And this will give me the old settings that the control panel used to look like. And you'll notice here it'll say Network and Sharing Center. If you click on that, we'll be at the section we need to be at for step 4, which is when the Network and Sharing Center window appears, click the link and change adapter settings in the left column. Right-click the local area connection and select Properties from the context menu. Now to step 6, select the option Internet Protocol version 4 from the list and click the properties. So we're here, I'm highlighted Internet Protocol version 4, and the properties button is right underneath that. We're going to select that. And just so you can see where we came from and where we're at, I'm going to separate this a little bit. And step 7, it says in the IPv4 properties window, select the radio buttons next to obtain an IP address automatically and obtain DNS server address automatically. Click OK and close to save these changes. Now I want you to look at this for a second and notice that the obtain an IP address automatically is available to select the radio button for. But down here, the obtain DNS server address automatically is grayed out. And that is because the only way you can access this is by selecting the obtain an IP address automatically first. So when we click this, you're going to notice it changes our screen and it takes out those static IP addresses from before. And then when I select the obtain DNS server address, it also clears out those static addresses that were listed under the DNS server address. Now we're going to click OK so that we can save these changes. Step 8, open the command prompt window by clicking Start and click the command prompt icon. So we were there earlier, but just so that we can go through it again, so that you remember, we go to the Start button and we go up to Command Prompt. And here is our command prompt. And here, step 9 says to initiate the DHCP process, type the command ipconfig /renew into the command prompt window and press enter. After a brief moment, the newly obtained IP address should appear under the Ethernet adapter local area connection heading. Notice that this address is the first available IP address from the DHCP pool. Also notice the DNS suffix and default gateway are also set, as those were options set in the DHCP configuration. So let's go ahead and try this out. We're going to type in IP config. Make sure you add a space, /renew. And let's see what our results bring up. Under the Ethernet adapter local area connection, here is our IP address, 192.168.12.150. And yes, that was a setting that we put in our pool. Step 10, now issue the command ipconfig /all, and notice the DHCP enabled is now yes. So you cannot see that from this command, but we can, as it said, do ipconfig space /all, and this should give us the settings we're looking for, which is then enable DNS under the Ethernet adapter local area connection. And here it is, DHCP enabled is now yes. Now issue the command, on to step 11. Now use the instruction in the lab settings section to log into the Backtrack 5 machine. I've already logged in previously, so it should just start right up for me. And as you can see, I already logged in, and I believe I just need to enter in start X. There we go. Let that load. And the first thing we're going to do after this is step 12, which is click the icon to the right of the system menu to gain access to the terminal window. And the terminal window is similar to the command prompt in Windows, except this is for Linux. Then it says, keep in mind Linux commands are case sensitive. The Linux commands below must be entered exactly as shown. So, step 13, in Linux, configuration files are used to configure many aspects of the operating system, including the network interface settings. To edit the interface settings, type the command nano space /etc/network/interfaces in the terminal window and press enter. So let's go ahead and try that out and make sure you keep your cases lowercase, so it's nano. Don't forget that space, /etc/network/interfaces. And before I hit enter, I'm going to make sure I spelled everything out correctly and let it go. Using the arrow keys, position the cursor to the front of the line address 192.168.12.12, 2 lines under the auto ETH0 heading. There we go. Carefully use the delete key to remove this and the next 2 lines, netmask 255.255.255.0 and gateway 192.168.121. So we're going to carefully delete these. And I'm going to go down to the next line and delete all of those, and then down to the next line and delete those. Continuing our step, it says next, use the arrow keys to position the cursor in front of the word static on the line immediately under the auto ETH0 heading. So we're positioning the cursor in front of the word static. Okay. And replace it with DHCP. When completed, the screen should look exactly like the figure below. So here, we're going to replace this word static with DHCP. We're going to delete that word static out of there. There we go. I just deleted that extra space that was between so it looks like our screen. Warning, be extremely careful not to change any settings other than those listed in this step for the ETH0 interface, as this could cause undesirable results. Step 15. Once the configuration file has been correctly modified, press Ctrl X. When prompted to save the modifier buffer, press Y. So from here we're going to go to our keyboard and we're going to select Control. We're going to press that down and hold it while we press the letter X. And then here is Save Modifier Buffer. Answering no will destroy changes. So we will go ahead down here at the bottom in that black cursor, we're going to type in Y. When prompted, step 16, when prompted for file name to write, press Enter to accept the default name, and this will override the old configuration file with the new one. So we're just going to hit Enter because this is the file name that it's going to write over because that's the old file name, and it'll just accept those changes. The editor will close and revert to the terminal prompt, which we have seen. Step 17. Changes made to the Linux configuration file do not take effect immediately. Instead, the service or interface associated with the configuration file needs to be restarted. For the network interface, this can be verified by typing the command ifconfig, that is ifconfig, not IP like in Windows, into the terminal window and press Enter. Notice the line inet ADDR is still set to static IP address in the old configuration window. So we'll go ahead and test that out. We're typing in lowercase if config and hitting Enter. And then we're going to look for the inet ADDR, which is still at the 1212, just as it shows here. Now, step 18, we have to restart this network interface. Remember, it says to restart the network interface, first type the command ifdown ETH0 into the terminal window and press Enter. This shuts down the interface. So let's try that command. if, lowercase if, down, space, oops, I was typing into the PDF. Let's try that again. ifdown space ETH0. And make sure you use all lowercase and add in that space and then hit Enter. Step 19. To bring the interface back online, type the command ifup ETH0 into the terminal window and press Enter. So now we're going to bring it back up. The first command was ifdown to shut it down. Now we're bringing it back up by using the command ifup. That is ifup space ETH0. Notice that 4 lines of the command output, the entire DHCP DORA discover offer request acknowledge process is displayed. During the